Get ready to build strength, power, and slabs of lean muscle. Welcome to the Super Strength Show, featuring motivating stories of success and no BS straight talk from the greatest in the iron game today. Now, here's your host, Ray Tulaney.
What's up, Strength Maniacs, and thanks for tuning in. I'm pleased to welcome today's guest, Markus Reinhardt. Markus is one of the world's leading experts in high-intensity training, also known as HIT or HIT, a scientifically based strength training program originally developed by the one and only researcher Arthur Jones and pioneered by the world champion bodybuilder Mike Mentzer. Through MrHighIntensity.com, Markus offers training routines, diet plans, and online coaching to develop customized HIT programs for individuals seeking out a healthy lifestyle and their full fitness potential. Markus has been recognized around the world as one of the top personal trainers and educators in bodybuilding. Over the past 20 years, Markus has been a natural bodybuilding world champion, has been featured in hundreds of magazines, including dozens of covers, has become an international fitness model, and is widely recognized as a star of the legendary HIT instructional video series with Mike Mentzer. You can connect with Markus by visiting www.mrhighintensity.com. Markus, welcome to the show. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. I'm really looking forward to getting into this.
Looking forward to it, Ray. How you guys doing?
I'm doing real good. I'm actually really amped up. You're my first hitman, really, on the show. So I'm looking forward to getting your input on this. It's
only hitman.
The only hitman. Yeah, very, very interesting method of training. So before we get going in this, do you mind maybe sharing a little bit more about you? Because we love learning more about our guests.
Well, first off, I'm not from this country, as you can probably tell by my accent.
I thought I had the accent.
Yeah. I was born in Germany, a place called Stuttgart, which is known for Mercedes-Benz and Porsche.
Oh, yeah, all the good cars.
All the good cars. I don't personally drive one of those, but, I was born there, 1970, grew up till I was about 21, left Stuttgart to pursue my dreams as a bodybuilder in Venice Beach, California. Lived in Venice Beach for about 4 or 5 years, moved around the LA area, and trained several people. Well, I didn't first right away start training people. I was doing a security job, odd different jobs, just to make ends meet and stay alive. It was a pretty tough life. And later on became a personal trainer in the 90s, mid-90s. The whole personal training boom started to happen there. And I landed my first job at Powerhouse Gym in Venice, and then moved on to different locations like also as well, of course, the famous Gold's Gym in Venice, where I then later on met Mike Mentzer, who I basically walked up to and said, hey, I see you training people like Dorian Yates and everybody's making progress. And with only very short workouts, it only lasts about 20 minutes. So it was it's crazy to see that. And I see these people growing in front of you, and all they're doing is a 20-minute workout. And I was always a lazy bodybuilder. So for me, that was a very, I was always a lazy bodybuilder. I never really trained with much volume. I always did like 6 to 8 sets per muscle group at the most. But what Mentzer did was even less than that. And during that time, I was competing already in several shows, Muscle Mania competitions, mainly natural drug-tested shows. And I didn't seem to be able to put on any more muscle weight. I asked Mike, introduced myself, and said that I'm a big fan of, of course, I've read about him. I listened to his audio tapes. They were back at when Muscle Media came up with the audio tapes that he had. I listened to that, and I was sold, So I said, well, how much would you charge me to train? I make little money. I didn't have much money at that time. And so he said, give me $300 a month, and I'll come in here 3 times a week and just be ready. I'm like, okay, let's do it, So I started training with him, and I think it was about January 1996. Was weighing about 215, 220 natural pounds. And after about 4 months, put about 28 pounds on me, which wasn't all muscle, but it was quite a lot of weight. We could literally, I couldn't even walk straight. My legs were rubbing together. He had me do the leg extension and leg press with an entire stack for over 35 reps because we ran out of weight. So he just said, keep on going, just do more reps, whatever you can do.
What kind of tempo, Markus? What kind of tempo?
We were doing a very slow control movement, but it wasn't as slow as some of the hit guys out there doing it. I mean, I wasn't falling asleep. I wasn't doing anything like super slow or, we were really counting the tempo. It was just he made sure that I controlled the weight. There was no momentum involved.
Yeah, these are quality
I don't
reps.
throw the weight up. They were the quality reps because he had me hold the fully contracted position on the extensions for about 2 seconds at least.
Yeah.
So there was no way I could have swung the weight up on it. I was moving the weight slowly, controlled, and lowered it at half the speed as I lifted it. That was pretty much what I did for most of the movements, all the movements. So I was doing that for like 3 or 4 months, and I was up 28 pounds. And then my preparation for the Musclemania started again. I came back with a solid 20 pounds more. The people were shocked. Yet I didn't nail my condition as much as I should have. So I think I came in like 3rd place, but was definitely the biggest guy on that stage. And, from there on, I just needed to work on my conditioning and my diet more, which was something that I always had a very hard time putting together because I like to eat.
Eating's good.
We Germans love to eat.
Yeah. Oktoberfest, huh?
Oktoberfest, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I like American food, so I've just, it's just when it comes to good. And I was only 26 years old, so I was still a puppy.
Yeah.
It just bodybuilding. It just takes a couple of tries, and you just got to continue going at it. But I had an enormous amount of muscle gains for the first time in my life, and because I was plateaued out for years, already trained back in Germany since I was 18, 17. Did my first competition when I was 17, and after that, I mean, I never really gained much more weight because I trained 6 days a week. I did. The beginning did a lot of volume, then did reduce the volume a little bit, but then I still trained 6 days a week, which is incredible. That's way too much,
Right.
And he had me down to 3 days a week. When I came in 3 days a week, I kind of felt, at first I was like, damn, how is this going to work? What am I going to do with the rest of my life? And what I love being in a gym. I like going to the Venice Beach and check out all the hotties in there and pump up and oil myself up and go to the Venice Beach pit outside and train there on top of it. Just because I like working out. I didn't have anything else.
But you got to be careful with that, right?
Of course, this time I couldn't do anything. But the thing is, when I trained Mike, and that's throughout the first week of training, I realized that at this point, you couldn't really do anything afterwards anymore because the body was in such a shock. The muscles were sore. You could tell they were, it took 4, 5, 6, 7 days to recover from such a workout. Because for the first time, he had me slow down my movements. There was no more explosive training. He had me go through full range of movement. He had me go to failure. What really literally failure means is you can't no longer lift the weight. Even if I put a gun to your head, you will no longer be able to lift that weight. And that's when you train like that, especially when someone like Menzer stands in front of you and screams at you. And he had a very sarcastic way of training me. He would come up with all kinds of different crazy things that he would say to me in the middle of the workout. And sometimes it would just make me like angry,
Yeah, because he's got to get it out of you, right?
Right. So he knew how to exactly push my buttons when it came to training, and nobody ever did that. I mean, nobody ever, you can train by yourself, but if somebody really knows how to push your buttons and trains you, that's a whole different story than just doing your own thing, So I think that's what mainly the reason was, because I made such a great progress, is because for the first time someone actually did kick my ass. And I didn't stop because I felt like I want to stop. I stopped because I couldn't do anymore. It was impossible,
Yeah.
There was a time when I trained with him where we're doing legs, and we're again one of those workouts where we did the extension on a Nautilus extension machine with a Nautilus leg press combined as a superset, no rest in between those two exercises. I got to the 35th rep at the end of it, and I started to feel dizzy and stuff. So I came out of it and started turning white. And she said, "Oh, I'm not feeling so great right now, Mike." I'm like, "Oh, just go to the bathroom." Went up there, threw up, came back, said, "I just threw up." I was like, "Okay, cool, let's do hamstrings then."
Let's finish the workout.
He was seriously emotional about any of that stuff. It didn't even face him. It was like just whatever.
Yeah, it's a part of, sometimes that happens. Let's keep going. Yeah.
So let's get going. He wouldn't say, "Oh, are you okay? Let's let me see outside and just forget about the day." None of that shit. It was just straight up hardcore shit. And we're at Gold's Gym in Venice, and when you go there and everything, there's no music there. It's just you see the iron and everywhere. You see people like Aaron Baker and and Barbarian Brothers, and you see these people running around there, and it's just the atmosphere of training. Everything was just all at the perfect spot, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you training with someone like this, Mike Menzer, a legend. I mean, life didn't get any better than that. Let's put it this way. It was like my dream come true, you know.
That's why they call it the mecca of
Exactly.
bodybuilding. Yeah.
You see these people there, and they're big. They were you. I was working out with Gary Stridham sometimes, and then Gary Stridham's a good friend of mine.
I think he's in Thailand now, isn't he?
Yeah, he lives in Thailand, and he's just, for me, it was like ultimate. That's like the god of bodybuilding right there. It was like unbelievable. And then, he took me under his wings to work for him for his magazine, for his clothing line, was his model, and we still kept in touch over Facebook for quite a while. He's not a hit guy, but he definitely respects Mentor and his training techniques. But so, I mean, come back to that is like, I mean, a lot of people that don't do HIIT and train a conventional way. A lot of IFBB pros do that. I don't really know a lot of HIIT guys that are doing competitive bodybuilding. That's what kind of like separates me from them, is that I am one of the few that actually does it and proves that there is a way, a better way to train, a more effective way to train.
Well, some of the greatest ever. I mean, you mentioned Mentor, Viator. Sergio Oliva,
Mentor, and Yates, and
Yates,
Aaron Baker,
Sergio Oliva, even Arthur Jones did some training with him as well. So there are definitely some big names who have.
There are. But I've been saying about the modern bodybuilding world right now, because it's just
nobody. Yeah, it's almost like a relic.
Caught onto it, and hopefully I can make a difference with that,
Okay, well, let's get into the rest of this interview, and let's make a difference. How about that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Let's get into this one here. It's a normal way that we kick off the questions, and that is, if you could share a favorite success quote and an example of how you've applied its meaning to your training and life.
Well, for one thing, in my life and the way I am is I'm a very extreme person. That's why high intensity training really applies to me and works for me great, because I'm an all in, or there's no off button, so to speak. If I go for something, I go all the way or not at all. So
right.
I think one of the things is that I would always like this, but is a quote by Ayn Rand is the question isn't who is going to let me, but it's who is going to stop me.
Right.
So I don't fear any of that. A lot of people are always like questioning and ask for permission, or are afraid to speak their mind, and I won't. I go out there and I'm just going to go ahead and roll with it. And especially when it comes to bodybuilding and what I do, I'm like the atheist of bodybuilders. I believe so, because I raise my voice about the HIIT thing, and I get a lot of hate mail. I got a lot of people going like, "Well, you're full of shit. Mensa was a retard. He was out of his mind, and you're just as stupid as he is," and all this crap.
All kinds of nice things you get on the internet. Yeah.
Everywhere. Everybody's a keyboard warrior out there trying to insult me with all kinds of shit. And it's like, what I'm trying to say is this: with people like this that are out there, and you have success with this HIIT training, whatever it is, they're gonna come down on you. They're gonna try to start, giving you shit for that. And it's just why this quote comes in, is like, who's gonna, I'm not going to question anyone who's going to let me. I'm just going to say, who's going to stop me? Nobody.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to continue carrying on the torch for Mentor, and I believe that is something that I have as a purpose in my life. Is a very strong belief that we all have to have a purpose, and that's one of those things. Is one of those very main purposes in my life is to carry on the torch for a great mind bodybuilding that I think, for the most part, was it wasn't given enough credit, to be honest. You see people like Arnold Schwarzenegger and everybody's getting these like huge, like, oh, Arnold is God, Arnold is king. What do we have? I don't think he really has done much. You know what I mean? As far as, but he brought bodybuilding into mainstream, correct? But I don't know. I mean, when I read some of the stuff that he recommends for training, it's horrific.
Those are some, that's not something you hear every day. Somebody who has something to say about Arnold. That's, that going against the grain there. But I think that speaks to your willingness to be your own individual and stick to your guns and beliefs. Yeah.
Right. And then to stand up for what I believe in, and to stand up for what is, like I said, I believe that we're HIIT guys are the atheists of bodybuilding and fitness, because we go against the grain of what these people say. They say the exact opposite of what we say.
Right.
And it's kind of sad, because the same ones that are saying these things, they don't even give it a shot to find out whether this works or not. or at least if they do, they don't give it long enough shot. So they go,
Gotcha.
man, when work out, they're like, oh wow, this was kind of intense, or but they don't really give it a long enough try to say, look, I've done this for 4 months. This is better, or this is not better. But I've never seen anyone do that,
Yeah, you
And
got to
then
give it a fair shot. Yeah.
the ones that I did see on certain, like videos on YouTube, some of the pro guys, I think Kai Green was just trained by Dorian Yates, and Yates trained him in a hit style fashion, and I was I was blown away how someone at that magnitude, at that development as a Kai Green, doesn't even know how to do a proper bend over roll with a barbell.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then when he had him slow the movement down to a 4 rep cadence, 4 second cadence, Kai Green was huffing and puffing with 215 pounds in the bend over row. A man with a back like this should be pulling 350 pounds.
Hmm.
But at the 8th rep on the 215, he was like almost dying.
Hmm.
And he still couldn't manage to hold the weight in, pull it up, lock it up, hold it, and slowly return the weight. He wasn't able to do that. So it takes a time. It takes time to even worse with the pros nowadays, that they're so ingrained in their fast rhythmic pumping type of training system. There's no such thing as proper cadence, holding the weight, static holds, slow negatives. None of those things is being applied to any of that training, which if they would, I guarantee you, they would be much better than they are right now.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, let's go into the next question here, which is
Yeah.
biggest challenge. And I'm wondering if you could share a story of a time in your training when you encountered a major challenge. And if you could take us to that time in your life and tell us that story and share the lessons learned.
Well, the major setback was actually right around the time, was before met Menzer. I was completely overtrained. I wasn't able to make any more progress, and then meeting him shifted everything around. So that was the major turning point. But I also had a motorcycle accident in '95
Ooh.
where I tried to be speed racer and was going 140 miles an hour.
That's not
And then
good.
at the end of my little race, I fell off the bike and dislocated my shoulder badly. Couldn't move my arm for a while. Yeah, those are a couple of but you see, these things happened, and a couple of things happened to me. Now, the reason if I mean, I can mention them as well, but they're actually pretty funny. In a funny way, it's my own fault that this happened to me. But I was always a very big fan of stuntman activities, such as like Evel Knievel. I was a big follower of this guy. So I would do things like motorcycle stunts and all kinds of stuff.
Not good for your health, but yeah, okay.
No, but I mean, I fell off a mini cycle on my birthday, because I have a mini cycle for kids that I ride in the desert, and I built a little ramp, and I would try to jump the ramp with a mini cycle, and the thing tipped over, and I did a little somersault, and I really crushed my elbow bad.
Ooh.
So, from the stunt, my elbow, it's been inflamed for the last 2 months. And last weekend at the Mr. Olympia Expo, I did 34 dips in 20 seconds, which is, of course, absolutely against HIIT. But I just want to do it anyway, just to prove that I'm better than everybody else, because, everybody's like, hey, you got to train fast to be fast, but the truth is you don't. So me doing 34 reps in under 20 seconds with my body weight is absolutely tremendous at 225 pounds. I beat everybody at the show. And on the last rep, my right chest tore. So I have a small chest tear in there. It's probably going to heal up anyway, but stuff like this. So what I'm trying to say is I never really get myself injured in the gym, because I mean, not, like, never done anything stupid in a gym where I got myself injured. It always happened outside the gym. So
Yeah, and I think the lesson learned there is that with the type of training that you do and having everything under control, you minimize the risk of injury.
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And what's still very it's very interesting, because when people say that you have to train fast and explosive in order to develop the explosive strength and speed, well, where do I get my speed from if I don't do that? How can you possibly do 34 reps in 20 seconds and beat everybody in the show, even guys that are lighter than me? There were guys in there like, little 180-pound guys, muscular, that should be going up and down like and I was going so fast. It was like just amazing. And I have it on video too, but and it's not about really the whole speed accelerating movements. It's about slow control movements to failure, and your speed will come along with that. And it's it's what it is. But definitely no explosive training. You'll hurt you'll hurt yourself no matter what.
All right, let's get to the next question here, and that is, I'm wondering if you could share a story of a time in your training when you had a breakthrough moment, and if you could again take us back and tell us the steps you took to take that light bulb moment and turn it into success.
Okay. Well, it's basically during the time when I was competing in Musclemania shows. I was always placing third, fourth, fifth, whatever it was, and it was getting a little bit discouraging. Because I thought every time I kind of improved, but I placed worst. And I realized that my thing was that I just didn't take my diet seriously enough. Okay. So in 2000, finally, I got myself together. I got myself a coach, a diet coach, not just a training coach, but a diet coach from Europe that came across, and he looked at me and said, I had 7 weeks out from a contest, and he said, looked at me, what are you trying to do? Is like, I'm going to try to compete in Musclemania. Is that, well, looking like this, you're not even going to win a Hawaiian Tropic competition,
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, thanks for the honesty, but I needed that. So what are we going to do? So the first time ever, he started putting together a diet for me, which in the past I have done these diets going low carbs and fat only and that kind of shit, peanut butter, and he put a good old fashioned diet with carbohydrates and lower protein intake, higher carbs, and next thing I know, I was at 3.7% body fat and won my show, for the first time.
Wow.
So that was as far as that goes in my career, it was a really big moment. And then with that success, there was more media coverage because of that. I was on ESPN. They did a story on me. The next thing I know, I got a sponsorship with the company, and I was traveling with them all over the world, doing expos and exhibitions, and then that's and so in 2000, I would say was my altering moment when, number one, my body started to come together because I knew now how to properly diet, and my mind was also at the point where I got to the point of being mature enough in order to live life more efficient than I was before. Going through a breakup with an ex-wife and realizing that only I am responsible for my future and nothing else. There's no crazy force out there that will determine that. It's just me. So and with that ability to do that, and of course I've learned how to develop websites, and outside the bodybuilding part of it, did my own website design and created stuff like that and made videos and became very self-sufficient,
Right. Self-reliant. Yeah. Big thing.
And that's what happened is I became a one-man machine that just kind of like went for it and just did, and just put his mind in it, So, so 2000 was kind of like, it's right around, 2000 was that life-altering moment where, when these things are happening, and then we did the video with Mike Menson in 2001, and then he passed away right after that. And then I just realized that for my purposes, I have to go on and continue with this, keeping this torch high.
Yeah. Well, to look at you, let me tell you, if there's ever an advocate for HIIT training, it's definitely you. The physique that you have is just incredible. It's out of this world. So,
well, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, definitely. Guys, you got to check out the show notes page and just take a look at him, or just go to his website, which we will share later on in the show. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with the hitman, Markus Reinhardt. The world of working out is seriously confusing at first. It punishes uneducated lifters with years of poor gains and injuries, and rewards smart ones with slabs of lean muscle and superhuman strength. If you don't know if you're using the right form, have hit a plateau, or things just seem a whole lot more confusing than you thought they'd be, I want to help you out. Let me save you from wasting time and money on BS advice and sweating away in the gym with little to nothing to show for it. Head on over to www.instantstrength.com to get access to your free report titled Instant Strength, the one little trick that will instantly boost your strength by 10 pounds or more in your main lifts. Whether you're a novice lifter or have years of experience in the iron game, this is a very helpful resource that you can either apply to your own training or use as a helpful guide to teach others. Stop wasting time and effort in the gym and get the info you need to maximize your gains and minimize your risk for injury. Visit www.instantstrength.com and get your free report today. All right, and we're back with our guest, Markus Reinhardt, high-intensity trainer extraordinaire. Next question that we got for you, Markus, is what achievement are you most proud of when it comes to your training?
I'm most proud of that 2000 Musclemania competition that I did, and I won the light heavyweight division. I'm proud that I was able to be one of Mike's last people he ever trained, and was able to be there for his last video. I'm very proud of that. Probably more proud than of any competition I ever did in my life.
Right.
And I'd be able to share that with him and continue to hold that torch high for his training system. I'm very proud of the fact that I've just landed the cover of Ironman magazine.
Congratulations.
I'm 44 years. Thank you very much. I'm 44 years old, and last year, I really pulled myself together last year with the help of Cindy Lai, which is my girlfriend. She's a nutritionist. She has a website called gofitmeals.com where she designs meals, custom meal plans for people, and delivers foods for them and makes them, vacuum seals them. And I followed her diet again, just like I was prepared back in 2000. I followed her diet again to the T. And with that ability to do that at 44, I came in the best shape of my life, and beat competitors that were half my age. So I'm very proud of that as well. And then, of course, the Ironman cover was traumatic for me. It was amazing. 7-page spread inside about high-intensity training. And all that, at my age now, where actually, most people already done at that point. They're like, over the hill. They're like,
right.
Oh, God, it's for my 30s and 20s. But now I feel I've looked better than I do in my 30s. And I've accomplished more things now than I did in my 30s because I have much more just more drive, and maybe it is a fact that we all don't want to get older and feel like we're done. It's just like I want to prove that there's no such thing as aging, as far as you can still get better and better as you get older. So having that cover, and then another thing is like last month, Planet Muscle magazine, Jeff Everson's magazine, have another six-page spread of me in there, centerfold and everything else. So I mean, just being in those magazines and being able to do all that stuff with having with it at my age, I think it's great. And then, I'm getting booked for a UK tour. We're doing a HIIT seminar too in the UK. It's gonna be like a 2-week tour, visiting certain gyms down in London and talking about HIIT. I was in Miami 2 months ago doing a HIIT seminar. Oh, that's a good one right here. There was 30 Norwegian girls. They were there for a personal training conference, and I was one of the speakers. And they had like 20 speakers there. And here I am talking to 20 beautiful girls and training them at Dave Barton's gym in Miami. And at the end of the seminar, where everybody had their certificate and everybody got certified, and they were taught by me how to do HIIT training, but other trainers were giving them different types of views as well as from training perspective. I was chosen to be the #1 trainers in there as being their most influential trainer there. And in the entire group of girls wrote me a card with things like, "You my superhero, you're we love you." And I mean, it was just, I really put tears in my eyes, and that's some of the things that, you really can't pay with money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Being acknowledged for helping somebody and having that acknowledged is definitely something.
Yeah. It's great. I'm not wake up and say to myself, the stuff I've done and be able to do this because of my training philosophy and traveling around the world and doing these things. It's just it's just amazing. It's just great. And everything I said to myself that I'm going to be doing, whether it was coming to this country or being in a couple of magazines and being in the mecca of bodybuilding, and everything that I wanted to do came and happened. The reason why I did, because I went to that direction, I made it happen. Not because some superstitious power was responsible for it, because it was me.
You got up and you got to work, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Exactly.
Definitely. And if there's any place in the world at all where you learn that very quickly, it's in the gym. Nothing is going to lift that weight for you, right? It's you. No. End of story. Nobody's going to eat those meals for you. You have to eat them, right? Nobody's going to sleep that sleep for you. That's one thing that this, this endeavor, this sport, this hobby, whatever you want to call it, will teach you. And it's a good training ground for the rest of life. That's for sure. Okay, let's get to the next question, which is, what is one thing that has you amped up to train right now?
Right now, I'm amped up because I'm going to be competing the 2014 Musclemania event here at the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas. I have done last year's show. I came in top 5. I have very good competitors in front of me. I know what they look like. I'm in the pro division. I'm amped up to go into it and become a better version of myself from last year. Try to beat that version, become better, more conditioned than before. I never compete against anyone else. I just compete about myself. So
Right.
just try to beat myself. Just trying to, and I'm pretty amped up because of all these things are happening at the same time. I mean, we're doing a great interview here. Everything is coming together. With the covers and with the layouts, with all that stuff that's really aligning itself. I believe it's just I feel a very strong purpose to just push even harder this time and do what I can, even if I keel over at the show. I don't care. I'm just gonna make it happen somehow.
Yeah. But you said something very important, which is things are coming together, but yet you are still pushing and you're pushing harder. And if there ever is a time to push harder, it's when you do see the light, right? When things are coming together. That's not when you take your foot off the accelerator. That's when you mash the gas down. The more you put in, the more
you get out. Period.
Yeah,
if you don't put everything into it, you're gonna get that show date that when you go up there at a contest and you didn't put everything into it. It feels terrible because it's you'll failed yourself.
Exactly.
And if you did put anything, let's say you placed last, and you did put everything into it, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
You knew you put everything into it.
That's exactly it. Yep.
And you can only compare to yourself, your own achievements. You can't control what the other people look like. It's not going to happen.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. When I know myself, when I've been in situations where I have given everything I could give, at the end, you don't even, obviously you care what the outcome is, but it's a different feeling. You've given everything you could give. And at that point in time, the outcome, to a certain degree, although it is important, it just doesn't seem as important at that point, if that kind of makes sense, because ultimately, whether or not you give your all, that's what truly counts. Because if you just half-ass it and you win, and that's the kind of attitude you take moving forward, there's a good chance you're not going to win the next time around if that's the attitude you take, right? So, definitely. And true growth happens when you do push your limits, because then you realize, okay, here are my boundaries. Now what can we do to expand these and go beyond this?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the next section here, Markus, and this is the Superset Round, and it's a series of rapid-fire Q&A, so we just kind of bang these out right quick.
Okay.
First one, who inspired you to start lifting?
Inspired was by my cousin, who was a weightlifter back in when I was 12 years old. At the time, he showed me pictures of several bodybuilders, including Menser. Actually, was kind of interesting. I just stared at the images and I just wanted to look like this. But I was only 12 years old, so I couldn't lift much. I was just curling a little here, curling a little there. My mom gave me a little dumbbell set, and then I stopped that again when I was 14. And then restart again when I was 16. So I was at the age of 12 years of age. I was very. I just needed something because my dad passed away when I was 10. So I needed something I can have a focus on, sort of like a like a role model. Something that I have a strong purpose. That was weightlifting for me.
Okay, what is the best advice you've ever received?
The best advice I ever received.
In life,
that lasts sometimes more.
Yeah, there you go. Isn't that a model to live by, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, next one. If you could recommend one training resource for our listeners, what would it be? And Markus, it could be, a piece of equipment, a book, an app, you name it. What would you recommend to help them with their training?
Well, one starters, of course, Heavy Duty 1 and Heavy Duty 2.
Those are books, correct?
Those are books by Mike Menser. All Mike's writings are actually absolutely important to have. And along with that, I would recommend objectivism books such as Philosophy You Need It or The Virtue of Selfishness, which are great books to stimulate your mind, to go along with the philosophy. The training philosophy of Mike's high-intensity training is very much along the lines of objectivist philosophies, is real, facts, reality, purpose. All these things that they come alignment. If you bring both those things at the same time, you'll get more of an idea of what you're doing.
Right.
I think that And this is what Mike used to like. So he used to sell those books on his website. I'm not sure if he still does it, like the philosophy books as well. But it would be a good idea to read both at the same time. Or he has a book, Mind and Muscle, which is a combination of both. Where he was very strong about trying to build the mind as well as the muscle.
Yeah, the
So you
Greek
don't get, like,
ideal.
some dumb muscle head
Yeah,
that only can lift weights.
right.
It has to be both.
Yeah, it was much along the lines of the Greek ideal, right?
Yeah,
Sound
exactly.
mind and a sound body.
Correct.
Yeah, which I mean is something that I think a lot of people should consider. I mean, there's definitely something to be gained out of
Absolutely.
training both the mind and the body. Do not be a part of a man, be a complete man or woman. And obviously you need to train all aspects and develop all aspects of your person, of your body, mind, and character. Okay, next one is, tell us something about yourself nobody would ever guess. Sounds like you got you. Sounds like
let me put it this way.
You're questioning whether or not you should tell us.
The way I look is, I shouldn't be looking the way I look by the things I do.
Uh-huh.
So in other words, I love to drink. I love to drink wine, for example, whiskey, and anything. I mean, I just love to drink. So for me, bringing that much alcohol on a weekly basis, I shouldn't look the way I do, for sure. So people don't probably know that, and they know me. They know that I do, but the people see me online and in my rep presence, they don't probably see that because I don't look 44 years old, and I just truly believe that. I mean, for us Germans, is drinking is like breathing air. Just how we are, and just like Mensa did, same thing. We both have the same addictions. So yeah, I do have that sort of a. What else people don't know about me? I think that I have a strong. How can I say? I'm just very driven towards one direction. I can't really do several things at the same time. Everything is really geared towards an all out thing, all out effort with everything I do. So
right, very focused is what you mean, right?
Focus on one thing only.
Yeah,
I can't really multitask. I'm not a very good multitasker. So
multitasking is actually not that great. And
texting and driving doesn't work for me.
No, well, actually, texting and driving, they have technology coming out to catch you doing that.
It fucks up my texting.
Oh my god.
Driving fucks up my texting.
Yeah, texting could also do a lot more to you when you're driving too. So it can really mess you up. Here's one here.
By the way, I have a very, very strong sense of sarcastic humor.
Oh, I didn't realize
If you're around me and if you read some of the posts on my Facebook, for example, you probably think that I absolutely lost my mind, but I don't really care what people say and think. I'm getting people's attention with it, and I'm an attention whore to begin with. Probably one of the greatest ones you ever meet.
Oh my God. Self-proclaimed attention whore right here, people. Another first on the show. Okay.
I think every bodybuilder is to a certain degree.
Probably. I was just going to say that. I think most bodybuilders are. Otherwise, why would they be up on stage in a banana hammock with everybody staring at them, right?
Thanks. Exactly.
Okay. Next one here. If you could work out with anyone, past or present, who would it be?
Work out with anyone. Well, they have to be alive still, or?
Yeah. No. Past or present. Anybody at all. You could dig them up if you want.
Would definitely be Casey Viator.
Okay.
Of course. I'm trained with Mensa before, of course, but I would have liked to train with Mensa in his prime time. Mm-hmm. That would be great. Then Arnold, of course, because I want to rip him another asshole.
I see you have quite the love for him.
Yeah, make him expose him as the pussy he is, actually.
Oh my God! Here we go. Here we go.
Elvis Presley, of course. Elvis Presley.
And Elvis Presley, what the heck?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Elvis Presley.
Yeah, he was quite the Kempo guy, man. He had a black belt. I guess he could really whoop some butt.
I'm sure he lifted some weights too in his time.
Yeah, yeah. And he packed. I don't know if it was a 357, but I know he had a mean revolver that he used to pack. I think he shot a TV in his own house or his backyard. I heard crazy stories like that.
I do that weekly.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, next one. What is your definition of success in the gym?
Success in the gym for me is just trying to get that extra rep in that you didn't get or you weren't able to do the last time. Everything is based on progression with every workout. I believe that every workout should be a better workout than the other. Yeah. By in other words, being stronger, doing one more rep, doing a little bit more weight. A workout that that doesn't show any progression is really a waste of time. And with high intensity training, it's possible to make that happen. With a regular conventional style training workout, it's not going to happen. You're going to burn out and plateau out. So every workout should be a little bit better than the other,
Yeah, progressive
and
strength
not
training.
based on pump or anything like this, but based on
Performance,
actual
right?
numbers.
Yeah, yeah. Progressive strength training, guys. Key word is progression.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, and this one here is a bit of a fun question, and I'm not sure you may get the reference, but when you do answer it, I would like it if you give some specifics so our listeners can actually take something away and actually apply it. So the question is, if I handed you the keys to the DeLorean with a full tank of garbage and said, Marcus, have at it, and you were able to go back in time knowing what you know now, would you do anything different? And if you would,
No.
what would it be?
Oh, I wouldn't have married my first wife
Okay.
and my second one.
Oh my God. Okay. And
I would try to stay home that day.
and oh my God. And when it comes to training, what would it be?
I wish I would have, met Mike Menzer in earlier stages of my life and would have, been able to train like this and would have read his books earlier in life. And
Right,
I was just as ignorant as the majority of bodybuilders out there today.
In terms of the marriages, what advice could you give for people to avoid having a situation like that happen? Any red flags that you didn't pay attention to that now you see looking back?
As far as marriage goes,
yeah. Avoiding any of those situations.
Always make sure that you very thoroughly ask the right questions right away when you get involved with someone and it comes to that point of marriage or anything like that. Is number one question is this: do you believe in God or not? If you do believe and you don't, it's not going to happen. You guys are going to have a really big problem. Me as an atheist now will never be with someone that's not an atheist, for example. And then if you're a volume trainer and you're a high intensity trainer, you're going to have a problem there too, because that doesn't work so well either. From a point of, let's work out together. Let's, all these things kind of come along. Your philosophy about training, about
life and everything. Yeah, the questions are critical, definitely.
Yeah, everything comes down to that. It really is. Do not mystics and realists don't go well together. It's like, and I'm a realist. I believe, like, people believe that the majority of people believe either the glass is half full or half empty.
Right.
And I believe the glass is full of piss.
Oh my God. Oh man. Drink up, huh? All right. Marcus, I want to thank you on behalf of myself and the listeners because you gave us some laughs. You gave us some, an outlook on things and an opinion on training that I think is a first for many people to hear. You had some things to say about some people that I think were sacrilege to some. But at the end of the day, you gave us some really good info. You shared what you truly believe in, and I thank you for that, because the biggest thing for us on the show is to have good guests with good information and for them to be true to who they are, right, and be real. So prior to ending the show, we're wondering if you could do a couple things for us. One of them is share how we can get a hold of you and how the listeners can find out more about you. And the second thing is if you could also provide some parting advice before we end off.
Party advice or parting advice?
Actually, both, if you wouldn't mind, because it sounds like you know how to throw a good party. And have a good
party advice. Here's the thing: MrHighIntensity.com, mrhighintensity.com is my website. Reach me there. Email is on there, mrhighintensity@yahoo.com. There's some ability to talk to me live on Skype. We have my Skype consultations. I also can be booked for seminars, of course, in your gym if you have a gym that is willing to let me talk.
Has to be quite the special gym by the sounds of it. Just don't let them listen to this recording first of this interview.
Yeah. And I think, you would love it. But other than that, I have a high intensity training DVD that I put together myself. Mm-hmm. It's only available on VHS currently. I'm working on a DVD. Mm-hmm. Of course, that's just a joke. I was gonna say. I mean, what do you ship it by carrier pigeon? I mean, no. So so the high intensity training DVD available on my website as well. Mr. Hit, it's called Mr. Hit. It's 2-hour DVD by all my training. And what else? Of course, I'm on Facebook. If you look at the Markus Reinhardt, you'll find me. There's two versions of him. One says Markus Reinhardt, Mr. Bad Out of Hell, which is my alter ego. And that's something I highly recommend. Be careful going on because it has a lot of really fucked up shit on there. anti-religious kind of stuff and atheism stuff. And the other one is called Markus Reinhardt Astronaut, because that's what I want to do in my next life.
Is be an astronaut, is it? Very good, very good. Any place in particular
I want to put in, everybody puts in like IFBB Pro and all that shit. Like, I don't want to put that on there. I just want to put on something different, you know.
Any place in particular you want to go visit?
Huh?
Any place in particular you'd like to go visit? Mars, huh?
To Mars, as a matter of fact. Any partying advice? Party advice is, I live in Las Vegas, so I give you guys some party advice. Bring your own booze, because it gets really expensive.
I'm sure the casinos would love to hear that.
No, you put it in your pocket, a little small.
Oh my God!
Bottles.
With a straw coming up underneath.
I stuff my socks with it. I have those long tube socks. I stuff them with it.
Oh, I bet you look great in those things.
Oh yeah. And then I'll just take it into the club and hide in a corner and drink it up.
Oh my God!
But I'm not gonna spend $25 for a stupid drink with white water and ice in it. Other than that, partying. I mean, it's basically keep your workouts very brief, intense, and short. That's all there is to it, really. Don't train explosive. Move the weight slow, controlled. Train no more than 3 to 4 times a week. Any more than that, it will probably overtrain you very shortly. Mm-hmm. Drink lots of fluid. Eat a balanced diet: 60% carbohydrates, 30% protein, 10 fat. Don't overdo the calorie thing. Don't think that you can eat more, should eat more in order to gain weight. Gaining muscle is about training heavy and intense. It's not so much about what you eat. Now, dieting, losing fat is about what you eat. It's 90% diet, but the rest of it is, if you want to gain muscle, you got to train properly. And the proper training attitude is to do something brief, intense, short, infrequent, versus doing it every day and overtraining your muscles, That's about it.
Well, that's that. Again, guys, you can get a hold of Markus. You can go to his website, mrhighintensity.com. That's mrhighintensity.com. He's got his DVDs there. You special request, he will ship you the VHS version by horseback. And if you want to party in Las Vegas, it sounds like this man is hosting, and he's got
hooking you guys up with all that stuff.
He's got all the ins and outs for you. So, Markus, again, thank you very much. I know you got to run. We really appreciated this.
I do. Yep.
Guys, as always, we appreciate feedback, good, bad, or ugly. Let us know. 5-star reviews on iTunes. Really appreciate that. Go to the website, guys, superstrengthshow.com. Check out Markus Reinhardt on the show. Search him up. You will find the show notes page, and you will have the audio there. You'll be able to listen to it. You'll have the bonuses, the bonus Q&A, which we'll get Markus to do for us, which I am certain will be quite entertaining, the answers he'll provide.
Oh, yeah.
And any resources we mentioned on the show will also be on that page. So, again, superstrengthshow.com, Markus Reinhardt. Markus, thanks again. As always, guys, train smart, train hard. See you on the next one.
Thanks for listening. To learn more about the Super Strength Show and to get access to all-inclusive interviews and courses, visit superstrengthshow.com.